Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 15 with me, Brad M73. Hopefully everybody is doing well. I'm actually doing pretty good. I got the official announcement for the new NVIDIA GTX 980 Ti chipset today. So I still don't know when. The card that I want is the Asus. It's got this huge name, but I'll try to truncate it as much as possible. It's the Asus GTX 980 Ti. It's like the Matrix. No, not the Matrix. The Strix. And there's some other stuff in the name. It's got this huge long name, and I was just like, what? But yeah. So I am trying to see. We're kind of picking up where we left off from the last episode. So I want to go get this guy mowing. We're going to have to get some other oh my gosh, some tractors down here to pick up the grass, I guess. So, because we need grass. It's always nice to have grass. Ooh, grass. Do I have I think, okay, maybe I don't. So we got $246,000. Oh. And another thing I forgot to do in the last episode, and I hope, let's see here. I gotta pull up a name, so I gotta give a shout out because I totally forgot. Give me a second. I gotta pull it up on my my phone here. Let's see if I. No, not there. No, there. And more video. Come on, more videos. More. There we go. And oh gosh, I'm looking at my phone, so that's why I'm crashing and stuff. Nighthawk 21148. Says, why did you not use the big grain trailer or the big trailer for the Great Demand and pull the lever at the train station? Well, the reason why I didn't use the big trailer for the Great Demand was because I wanted more capacity for doing the silage, and I knew it wouldn't take as many runs doing the silage as it would for the. Or I'm sorry, I knew it wouldn't take as many runs with the other trailers doing silage than I would. It's just a time thing. It's getting too crazy to explain. No, I would have lost more time, I think, doing using the smaller trailers on the silage. So that's why I didn't use that. Why I didn't pull the lever, I have no idea. I just forgot. I'm sorry, but we're going to get something pretty cool here, and we're going to see how it works out. As soon as the train goes and gives us our extra money. I can't believe I forgot to do that, but you know, when you're not actually doing, well, actually I did it there at the end, so I don't know. I don't know, guys. I have no explanation. I have no excuse. I just derped out, I guess. Yay! Oh, look at that. Another 96,000. So what I am going to do is we are going to go into mods. Well, I think it's under harvesters, and we're going to get this guy, the Corona Big M. Now, I think this is just a port up from, here we go, from 2013. It's kind of hard to tell whether the textures do look kind of different. Looks pretty good, I guess. Let's see what the interior looks like. Whoa. Takes a long time to pan around. Alright, well, we're going to try this mower out. We're going to see how this mod works. This one came off of the LS 2015 website. You can just search for the Corona Big M, and you should be able to pull it up pretty easily. So if you guys want to try it out, it did not post any errors, of course. Well, no, it didn't post any errors because I did try it. I did try it with my test map, and didn't post any errors to the log file. So I thought, I always test that first. I always make sure that a mod is error-free. Warnings are all right. Sometimes the warnings can be a little bit dangerous, but most of the time they're all right. And we're probably going to get a lot more coverage with this guy, so we'll have to see how it goes. Now you can't... One of the nice things about using this guy, though, is that it will actually swath the grass into a row. And I actually might even need to redo the courseplay route if I'm going to be using this guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because this cutter may be a lot bigger, you know, like a lot. I mean, it might be twice as wide for all I know. I'm not exactly sure how wide it is. Okay, so we're gonna start unfolding it, and so let's just bring up courseplay, and this is field 41. So we're gonna do field 41 mowing. Yeah, I think it's way wider. Field work, drive course. Oh gosh. It's going to completely fold up, pull forward a few feet, and then completely fold out again. Yeah. Oh, before I get started... Oh. No. Get in. There we go. Oh, good. It is swathing. Awesome. So now this guy's going to automatically swath. So I won't need to use the windrower anymore, which is really, really nice. And we're not going to have a bunch of extra grass. You know, you can see up here there's still grass and everything left over from previous cuts, and it's essentially just going to put all that hopefully in one straight line. The nice thing, though, is I can hit hire to hire the worker to continue doing that. Oh, you know what? I had meant to not do that. Why are you putting the pipe out? Why are you taking your pipe out, dude? That's totally gross. Totally nasty. Oh, do I still have... Nope. no loan left. That's good. Oh, yeah. We've got all this silage down here, too, which is... Oh, gosh. Which is nice. But I wanted to actually get the... Okay, wait a second. All right, let's go... Let's go grab this guy. Okay. We are going to clear the course. We are going to load a course, and we're going to do field 41 mowing. Put it on field work, and we are going to just drive this course and pick up the grass there. All right. So, what is this guy doing? Why is he... There's nothing in there. Oh, I think he was just doing this courseplay route. So let's pull him off to the side of the road, let him sleep. Okay, this is the guy I was wanting. Now, this will probably be one of the last times I'm going to use these mowers. I guess we could sell them because we've got the new mod, and it works really well. I'm going to get the front weight here, but we are going to need to swath the other field. So I am going to pick up the rower, sorry, and we're going to swath that up. I'm going to swath you up. Wait. And this will be field 40 mowing. So once I get this guy working, I'm going to try to use the rest of the silage that's in the silage pit up here, because I want to, put a big silage pile in here, because we're going to need to do that. Is that the start and everything? Field mowing. Oh, yay. We didn't do this yet. Starting corner, north, east, south, and do a headland, and we are going to calculate the course. And yes, it does put us down over here. Turn to starting point. It's active. I can't remake the course. All right, so nearest waypoint. First waypoint, we are going to do field work and drive course. Should drive us down here and get us started. Like so. So that's good. And okay, so he is just cultivating there. Is that as fast as, yeah, it's as fast as we can go. Okay, this guy right here. Now I think we're going to have enough to do, let's go ahead and just see if this will completely fill up with silage. Should. And there we go. Okay. So we'll just come up through here and unload the silage. Hopefully it'll take all the silage. What in the world is my video doing on my phone now? Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Well, all is not lost, because we can take this guy down and actually put a bale in of each hay and straw in here, and probably make a load of mixed ration. Should be pretty good. So I'll park him right here for right now until we get all the raking done, which will take a while. So let's find. Okay, so he's still picking up that. Oh, wow! Look at how much grass we're losing there because of the difference of the turning radius. So he's coming back. Oh man, I hope he doesn't hit him. Alright, he's doing alright. Yeah, this is going to be a lot better with the, the different mower. It's just going to make a huge, huge difference, I think. Where's my T6? Oh, here he is. Alright. So this is the other front loader, New Holland T8. Oh, needs to be unloaded. No, there we go. Stop driver. So yeah, we want to unload this. this, I guess, unloading here. This, I think, these two silage pits are going to give us a ton of money. And what's more, if I even grew more corn and even did more silage, that would even, man, we'd probably have a few million left over. I think I want to take some of this money, though, and make some solar panel, or buy some solar panels, because I don't have any yet, and I've been wanting to buy some. Of course, at nearest waypoint. All right, so he is going on there. What was I doing before? Let's see here. Is that? Oh yeah, the T6. There we go. So, yeah, there's not really been any games coming out lately. I'm still doing the giveaway for Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Once I reach 15,000 subscribers, I'll choose a random winner and contact the two winners. So yeah, we'll give you Steam keys for those. So if you haven't signed up, make sure to go to my main channel page. There's a video right on the front page with all the information. Just click the video. It'll tell you what you need to do. You can also look at the video information below the video, where I've got instructions on what you need to do if it's confusing in any way, and hopefully you'll win a copy of Car Mechanic Sim. So been doing that. Been playing Car Mechanic Sim. A lot of Witcher 3, which I'm actually not going to be doing a Let's Play series on because it is just way too mature, and I am totally not mature. So we're just. Yeah. No, there's a lot of adult themes and things like that in it that actually kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting it at all, but whatever. It's a great game, though. I think it's really nice. Graphically, it's like, I don't know whether it has better graphics than GTA 5 or not. It's that close. It's a beautiful game. It really is. So I've been playing that. What else has been going on? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier today, the GTX 980 Ti's are out, or they just got announced officially today by ATI, or not ATI, NVIDIA. No, I wouldn't buy an ATI card unless they really change things up. So yeah, those got officially announced. I'm waiting for the availability of the Asus Strix card 980 Ti. And I will definitely order one as soon as I find out they're available. They look absolutely awesome. It's a 3-fan design, and the performance is basically the same as the Titan. So instead of spending $1,000, actually I can't find a Titan because the MSRP on the Titans are all like it's like basically $1,000. Good luck finding one for that cheap though. They're all like way more than that. They're all like, $1,100, $1,200. The 980 Ti's are essentially supposed to perform pretty much the same, maybe a couple frames per second less on a reference card. The Strix version of the 980 Ti actually has a 15% overclock. So instead of only clocking out at, I think, right around 1,000 megahertz, we should be upwards of around 1,150 megahertz, which, even with the lack of the same amount of CUDA cores as the Titan X has, the extra overclock should essentially give us the equivalent computing power. Yeah, cool stuff. All right, so our T8 is in traffic. What's going on here? Let's stop the driver. Oh, okay. No, we need to drive course then. And this guy needs to go away. All right, stop that driver. Stop it! And let him get on to his work. Now I want to see, well, I'm going to have to recalculate the whole course on field 40 for this guy. And actually, I might need to do it on the other field as well. Some people were saying, you know, well, you can use courseplay to create the route around the farm back there, but I think it's actually a little bit easier because that one has so many weird twists and turns and things like that. I actually think it's going to be easier just to do it with this, you know, with this guy, and actually just to do it manually, because then I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to park this guy up here. Hello, come on. There we go. So he's still going. Do I have enough money to buy? 88,000. I guess I could get a loan. I'm hoping to get all this done this episode, though, because then we can fast forward time and I can start doing the silage. Okay, unloaded. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? There he is. Oh, he's almost done. Stop the driver! Yeah, we're going to make some really good money on this. So yeah, NVIDIA 980 Ti. Oh, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day regarding the processing power of the 980s and the Titan X, the 980 Ti's, and so on. And I think that a lot of people get confused when you discuss different monitor sizes. For example, 1080p. Well, what does 1080p actually mean? And essentially what that means is if you look at the screen, if you got up really, really close to your computer screen and you actually looked at it, you're going to see these little tiny square, we call them pixels, but they're like these little squares of light. And the lights can be different colors and so on. So that's actually one pixel. And millions of these little pixels are what are used to draw the image on your screen. So the higher resolution, or the higher the pixel density, well, pixel density and resolution are kind of two different things. But for example, a 1080p screen, that basically means you have 1,080 lines, horizontal lines, not vertical lines, but horizontal lines of pixels going, down the side of your screen or across the screen. And then if it's just a standard 1080p monitor, it's actually your vertical resolution is 1920. So you have 1,920 up and down rows of these pixels across, and then you have 1,080 of them going up and down. So 1,080 times 1920 is whatever number you come up with. Get out your calculators. I won't ask my phone because that would just be too nerdy. So I'm going to get out my calculator and say 1920 by 1080, okay? So that is just over 2 million pixels. It's 2,073,600 pixels that your monitor has to draw every second. I mean, that's incredible if you really think about how many pixels that is. I mean, can you imagine if somebody gave you, let's say you had to refresh your monitor 60 times a second. So if you multiply that by 60, that's 124,416,000 pixels every second. at a 60 on a 60 hertz monitor at 60 frames a second refresh rate. Okay. Now, if we go back and say, well, if we go back and look at another very popular resolution, which is what I use, which is 1440p. Let's see. Let's get this guy. Oh, that's why he's not going. There we go. Oh, am I on field? No. Let's go to field 41 mowing. Is it going to be able to calculate the path? Oh no, I don't think we actually have a path for this, do we? Oh well. So now the resolution for 1440p is, as I explained earlier, you've got 1,440 horizontal lines of resolution. Well, the vertical lines is even more. It's 2,560, 2560. So it's 2560 by 1440. So get out your calculators. 2560 by 1440 equals 3,686,400. So not quite twice the amount of pixels by going up to 1440p. That's a lot of pixels, right? Well, now we get to 4K, and I can't remember. Let's see. Resolution for 4K. There we go. Hopefully we'll be able to find that. 3840 by 2160. So it's essentially double 1920. Okay, so that's an easy way. Okay, so 3840 by 2160, that's 8,294,400 pixels. So with 1080p, we're a little over 2 million. With 1440p, we're at 3.6 million, which I think the 1440p monitors look beautiful, graphics-wise. But the 4K video is way beyond that. Little over 2 million, up to over 3.6 million, to over 8 million, 8.3, just under 8.3 million. What in the world is going on there? What is... Oh. Huh, that's weird. I wonder why there's a little bit of a field there. So that is just like an absolutely insane amount of pixels. Okay, so 4 times as much. If you multiply that by 60 frames a second, which is the most that can do, that's 497,664 pixels per second. That's almost 500 million pixels per second. I mean, and that is just insane. That is insanity. So, when guys are like, well, this is the type of monitor I have, this is the type of video card I want to have, it's kind of like a want versus need kind of a thing. So, and let me explain. The vast majority of people, I'm going to go with 99% of gamers that really are serious about gaming still only have a 1080p display. And there may be some that have, a worse one than that, or there might be some, oddball resolutions here and there. But the vast majority of people with, modern PC setups are still using 1920 by 780p displays, okay? So you only really need to be able to display, that little over 2 million pixels roughly 60 times a second, because most of your consumer grade monitors they max out at 60 frames a second. You can't go faster than that. Your video card might be able to push 100 frames a second, or maybe even more than that, but your monitor can only display up to 60 frames a second. Now, there are gaming monitors that can display up to 144 frames a second at 1080p, so you kind of have to consider, which monitor you have. Is my monitor only going to be able to do 60 frames a second? Well, if so, then I just have to make sure that whatever video card I buy, whether it's an NVIDIA whatever or a Radeon whatever, is going to be able to display the best games that I play. So let's say Farming Sim and Grand Theft Auto and, what other games? Euro Truck Simulator, Witcher 3, whatever games you play, you want to make sure that your monitor is going to be able to really sustain a solid frame rate at 60 frames a second. And for the vast majority of people, you're not going to need, GTX 980. A 970 is going to be great for a 1080p monitor. You're probably going to play almost every game that you can throw at it at 60 frames a second solid. But let's say you go out and you buy, a gaming monitor that's capable of displaying 144 frames a second at, 144 hertz. If it's 144 hertz at 1080p, well, then maybe some games, especially with certain graphics options enabled, they might not be able to display, maybe they'll do 90 frames a second or 100 frames a second, but you can't get the full, 144 frames a second. So you kind of have to look and see, what type of power do you need for different graphics cards. Now, when you bump up to a 1440p monitor, it's a whole new world, and the 980s really do, take advantage of the extra processing power to push those types of pixels, not pistols. Here I'm getting confused because, not really confused, but I'm trying to think with two parts of my brain at the same time, which can sometimes lead to disaster. So, okay, going back to my discussion here, if you've just got a standard old 1080p monitor that does a 60 frame per second refresh rate, you're not going to need a GTX 980 because no game is going to be able to bottleneck that, well, actually, your monitor is going to be a bottleneck because the graphics card itself is probably going to be able to push way more. I don't even know what it would be at 1080p. It's definitely going to be able to play like the vast majority of games locked at maximum frames per second or 144 frames per second. At 1080p, it's going to be 980 should definitely be able to do most games at that that quickly. But what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to get myself lined up here. But yeah, once you go up in resolution, like let's say you've got a like one of the new NVIDIA GTX 7 or 970s. Not the 980, but the 970. I know it runs GTA great. Most of the people I talk to have most settings maxed out and are playing at 60 frames a second locked. Now, if you were able to get a 1080p monitor at 144 hertz, I'm not exactly sure what you'd get because I don't have that equipment to be able to benchmark it. But I'm going to kind of speculate. Maybe say you might get 70 or 80 frames a second. And it might be more than that. It might be less. I don't really know. I'm just guessing. But just for the sake of discussion, let's say it's a little bit more. Okay. Then you have to ask yourself, well, to really get, to really take full advantage of my monitor, I would need a better video card. So maybe you might want to bump up to the 980. But do you really need to? So it's kind of the issue of what your equipment can do compared to what you want it to do or what you need it to do. Most people, especially if you're running on an old computer that's not really geared for gaming, I've seen some of these poor kids playing Farming Simulator 15 at like 10 frames a second, and my heart goes out to those guys because boy, they're real troopers. Having the patience to play a game at such a resolution. And it might be a lower resolution. It might only be 720p, and they're still only pulling 10 or 15 frames a second at the lowest graphics setting. So the game doesn't look nearly as beautiful as it does on on this video right now. And so a lot of people always ask me, like, Brad, I want to buy a new computer. I want to build a new computer, and I want it to run all the newest games, and this, that, and the other thing. And I had one person that's been asking me lately, I want it to play Farming Sim and Euro Truck Sim maxed out, but it doesn't have to play Grand Theft Auto maxed out, GTA 5. And I understand it, but there's not really a whole lot of difference between like GTA graphics and these types of graphics. If you want to get the insane frame rates, it's not really going to matter, because you're going to be spending about the same amount of money for the type of monitor that you're getting. So let's say you just get a standard 1080p 60 hertz, 60 frames a second monitor, and they're pretty cheap. I mean, you can get them in all different types of sizes for $100 up to $300 or $400 for a really, really nice one. I was just talking to somebody today. I found like an Asus, I think it was an ROG 1080p monitors, 27 inches. I'm pretty sure it was 144 hertz, and it was like $370, which isn't that, it's really not that bad. And a GTX 970 is going to push that just fine, and you could, I guess, make the case to mom and dad if you're a young guy, or to yourself if you're an older guy like me, whether or not it's worth it for you to maybe push a 980. But are you gonna, is your value decreasing? And when I say your value, I'm talking about the value of the amount of pixels that you're paying to calculate. Is your value being reduced because of a limitation in your monitor? So for example, like if your monitor can only display 60 frames a second, but your video card can render, let's say, 120 frames a second, then really you're only paying, you're paying twice as much for what your graphics card is really capable of doing. So you either go out and buy yourself a better monitor that can refresh faster or has a higher resolution, or you just eat it. You eat the difference. And I see a lot of people making those types of mistakes, or maybe they're trying to save up for a new graphics card. Let's say they've got a 60, 1080p at 60 frames a second, 60 hertz, same thing. Let's say they have that monitor, but they've got a really old graphics card. Let's say it's like 5 years old, and they're like, well, things are really tight right now, and I maybe can put $150 aside to buy like a 750 Ti graphics card for $150, and that might be good for them, and it's definitely going to be way better than what they've been playing with. But can you spend another maybe $20 or $30 and get something even better than a 750 Ti? Because the 750 Ti's really aren't, like, I for their price, they're pretty good, and they're actually supposedly pretty widely available in a lot of different countries, a lot of smaller countries and things like that like your 900 series aren't available in. So for those people, the 750 Ti is probably going to make more sense, or the people that are really on a super tight budget. But it's kind of one of those things. It's like, well, how long have you been saving? If it's really a struggle to save $150 to get that new graphics card, then maybe, it's probably going to be worth it for you. But if you could say, well, I might be able to wait another month and put another $20 down, or another 2 months, and for an extra $20 or $30, then it might be good to wait to get something, because you're going for an extra, let's say, $200, you're looking at the GTX 960 range, which blows the 750 Ti out of the water. I mean, it's that much of a difference. So when people ask me those questions, like, well, what should I get? It's kind of like, well, what's your budget and what do you want to do? Because some people, they say, well, I want to play this game, whatever that game may be, at the best resolution possible. Well, does that mean 4K? Because you said best resolution possible. Um, or, do you want it to be at 1080p with all the graphical settings maxed? So there's a lot of different questions, and there's a lot of questions that people don't really know how to answer themselves, and they don't really even know how to ask the question because they don't know that, a lot of people, especially with Xboxes and PlayStations, they just hook it up to their TV and they're like, it looks great. It's awesome gaming experience for the most part. You get some beautiful, stunning graphics on your Xboxes and PlayStations. Not as good as what's on a PC typically, but they just want to plug it in and they want it to work. And I think that's what the vast majority of people do want. They just want their stuff to work. And they don't want to have to worry about all the minutia. Then you have like geeks like me who've been building computers for 25 years and, know all the ins and outs. Or if I don't know the ins and outs, I know enough about the technology to go and find out for myself. But I try to help people. I try to educate people into not overspending, not wasting their money. I had somebody here recently bought a couple graphics cards in SLI, and I said I wouldn't get it because I knew that there was something coming out this spring. Because I was thinking very, very long about going with an SLI configuration. SLI means scanline interleave, and it's essentially where you take two video cards, put them side by side. They have a little bridging connector that connects the two of them together, and they, so that they can essentially act as one big, graphics card on steroids. Now, the SLI setup that this person got is really nice. It's really, really super nice. But I think, because I kind of I knew that there was a new video card coming out. And I didn't know it would be this soon. I kind of thought it might be. I had heard rumors that it would be, June, July, but I had also heard rumors that no, it may not get released until September. And then it's kind of like, well, you have to ask yourself, is it worth doing that type of a performance addition to your computer? To play what you want it to play. And I'm buying two graphics cards ain't cheap. I mean, it's, I'm sure they spent $1,000 or more on the two graphics cards. Well, now you've got, the 980 Ti's are out, which have the same, essentially the same output power as a Titan X for all intents and purposes. The only thing it's really, it's got a few less CUDA cores, which are the processing cores for the graphics card, and it's got half as much memory. So it's 6 gigs of memory. The only game I know of that even comes close to using all 6 gigs is Grand Theft Auto 5, which probably with all the graphics settings maxed out, it's going to be maybe around 5, maybe a little bit more than 5 gigs. So, would it be worth it for that person to upgrade to a 980 Ti? Not really. I mean, if he could sell both of his old video cards and get 80% of his money back and buy like a single 980 Ti, then yeah, I would say it probably would be worth it. I don't know that I would go with dual 980s unless I was seriously considering 4K gaming, but if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, I still don't really think that 4K gaming tech is fully baked. It's kind of like a bleeding edge thing, at least in my opinion. And I probably won't start seriously looking at 4K video until they start to come out with 4K monitors that can display at faster than the 60 hertz or 60 frames a second. If we can get some gaming monitors that might be 90, 120, or 144 hertz, then I'll probably start to seriously consider it. And and that might be in 2 or 3 years. Who knows? I don't really know what the time scale of that would be, and I would just be guessing if I did. But You know, it might be 2 years, might be 3 years, and I think the 980 series is definitely going to hold me over until that comes out. And who knows? I might be surprised. Maybe next year, Asus or Acer or somebody might release a 4K monitor that displays at 144 hertz. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So, but anyway, I mean, you know, people are asking all the time, you know, what do I need for gaming? And there's just so many answers. There's never like, you need this. Because it's like, you know, what are you wanting to play? How much money do you have to spend? Are you trying to get a computer that's better than your buddies and you want to kind of one-up him? Because, I mean, there is a lot to do with gaming that, you know, I've never really been that competitive as far as like, you know, graphics cards and, oh, I have to have the better system than the other guy. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I never really have. But I've always tried to make sure that when people buy systems, that they really get what they pay for, and they can take advantage of the power that they're paying for, and that you're really not wasting money on unnecessary components, or, you know, like I was talking about before with the monitors. You know, if you've got a monitor that can only do 60 frames a second, but your graphics card can do 100 frames a second or 120, then you're really losing value on that card. And because, you know, it's overkill. And in other situations, there are people that might go out and they might buy a GTX 980 and they might plunk it into an old motherboard that might still have PCIe 3, but you know, I've seen motherboards that adopt the standards, but they don't have the memory lanes to the CPU, so the motherboard ends up being a bottleneck to the rest of the, you know, to the CPU and the RAM memory, and it's usually not a huge bottleneck, but you know, if you're like a pixel peeper or a pixel pusher, and you're trying to get, you know, the best performance that you possibly can out of a game, then yeah, it might artificially restrict your computer. And let's see, am I going to get... Yep, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and blanket these silos, guys. And I think this one's ready to be blanketed already. Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and blanket that one. And I think I pretty much got everything I wanted to do in this episode done. Let's get a washer to put down here. Let's see, can I get a placeable? Can I get it down here somewhere? Oh. There we go. I've been wanting to buy a washer for down here for so long. That way I don't have to drive everything back to the farm every time to wash all my equipment. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, you know, the talk about graphics cards and, you know, what you really need to look for. It's not so much about graphics cards, but it's you know, what types of things that you need to think about when you're buying a computer. I see people go out sometimes and buy, you know, the best of the best, and they're not even really utilizing it. You know, I have to say that, I mean, I spent a lot of money on my PC that I built earlier this year, but I do feel that I utilize the power of it fairly well. You know, the processing power with processing videos and photos and things like that. And also, you know, with gaming, with the graphics cards, I mean, I definitely utilize that power for doing Let's Play series and things like that. So, you know, it's just a process that you have to, you know, ask yourself, what am I going to use the computer for? And, you know, once you kind of figure that out, then it becomes a lot easier to figure out how much you need to spend, what you need to buy. or the kind of questions that you need to ask in order to get those answers. Because, like I said, a lot of people don't know, I get a lot of kids, they're, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, and, they come and ask me, I've even talked to some parents of kids, because they say, oh, my kid watches my son watches your video, and, we're thinking about getting a new computer. What do you recommend? And it's like, well, what's your budget like? Because, you can definitely recommend, ooh, look how nice the JCB looks now. It's all clean. It looks like the day it came off the production line. But yeah, I mean, you can spend, if they say, well, my kid's young and I don't want to spend more than $400, what do I need to buy? Those are all questions that you have to ask. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Oh, no. Hold that in. Nope. What am I doing here? There we go. I'm trying to fold that thing in. Okay. So yeah, those are just like the, some of the questions that people ask. And then you always get people and they're like, what's the best video card? Well, what's the best is subjective, because there's people that argue for ATI. Well, I don't know if it's ATI or not, but the Radeon cards or the NVIDIA cards, pound per pound power, it's definitely going to be NVIDIA. ATI, the Radeons, there's nothing that can really match the power of the 980s for an individual card. Now that said, you could probably go out and buy two of the Radeon, the 290, 295 X's. You can crossfire those, which is kind of like SLI with NVIDIA. And you'll probably be about the same price as a single GTX 980 card for two of the Radeon cards. And you'll probably come pretty close. You might beat some 980s, you might not beat others. And hello, is this thing cleaning? Are we still having bugs clean? No, there, it's starting to clean off there. Okay. Yay. So there are people that definitely argue that the Radeons do put out good performance for their price, and they're usually a lot cheaper. NVIDIA definitely, I mean, you can't even argue this, that NVIDIA definitely has better driver support. No doubt in my mind. ATI, the Radeon driver support is awful. I think they just did come out last week with the game-ready driver for Grand Theft Auto or no, maybe it was Witcher 3. But, it usually takes them 2 or 3 weeks after a game comes out to come out with optimized drivers for some of those games. So those are types of other things that you have to think about. And it's all, the value, what it's worth to you, what you can afford, just kind of the way it is. I also have another pretty cool series that I'm going to be doing. It's not gaming. It's going to be an actual live action series that I'm going to be doing. I don't exactly know. It depends on when the stuff arrives. Some a lucky few out there already know what it is. I would ask them not to mention it in the comment section, but I think it's going to be really cool. I can't wait for the first part of it to arrive, and it's going to be a long series. It's going to progress over the course of the next 2 years or so, really. And so that's going to be really cool, and hopefully you guys will watch and enjoy that. And but hopefully that'll be here towards the weekend, and I can get started on that, maybe sometime next week. I don't know yet. All right, well, we got most of our stuff all cleaned up here, and I think we're just about ready to call it an episode. We just have to wait for our silage to silage. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's the silage to ferment, I guess. I don't know. But we got to wait for that to do its thing, and then we'll come back and harvest that. I might do a time lapse on that. I don't know. It takes hours to harvest all that silage, unless we were to get like some big cheap bucket or something that would help us do it more quickly. But yeah, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. And I thought about actually getting two different front loaders. Where are we at here? Yeah, I thought about getting two of these, one to do each silage pit. But then I'm like, there's no way, because they would totally just run into each other. They would eventually bump into each other during their routes. So I don't think that's going to work. I think I just have to do it one at a time. So I don't know. But check back in the next episode. Maybe I'll do all that off screen. I'll sell all the stuff off screen. And I haven't really decided yet. We'll just see how much time I get. And, we'll make some more money. Any predictions on how much all this is going to get us? We got, oh no, it's fermenting. I think there was over 600,000 or 500. I know there was at least 500,000. I think there was close to 300,000 in this one. You can rewind the episode before I covered the silage bins, and you can figure out how much was in there. But I think we'll probably get at least 600,000-700,000, if not more than that, out of these two silage bins. So keeping my fingers crossed. Well, guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you'll be back this weekend for some more Farming Sim in the next episode. As always, please don't forget to hit that like and share button. Helps me out tremendously. Please comment. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe for this and many more videos. This has been Farming Simulator 15. I am Brad M73, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.